sort of circling back, so a big story broke this week. Asia Argento, who was considered like a pioneer in the whole Harvey Weinstein MeToo movement, because she was, I think, like the second or third.
Yeah, she was one of the first.
Yeah, one of the very first.
Was interviewed in the New Yorker article.
Exactly.
Right.
So she was in the Ronan Farrow original article. Well, a story broke, and by the way, I just want to start by saying I'm reserving judgment on this one, because I think that more facts need to come to light. I think it's so quick to jump one way or the other. And so to just recap a little bit. So it was revealed in a New York Times blockbuster report that she basically paid off her own accuser that she allegedly sexually assaulted, and I believe he was like a guy that she was working with on a movie or something, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
He was 17 years old. His name is Jimmy Bennett.
Jimmy Bennett, thank you.
Former child actor.
Yes.
Former child actor. And so basically, when she came forward, led this movement, then the news broke that she had paid off, and then it was like, what a big blow to the Me Too movement. So this is what I want to ask, okay? Because I think that this could be two things. This could essentially be a guy who was extorting her, because what was he, 17? Okay, no one knows what happened but her and him, right? But if you look at the pictures of them together, he's not like a tiny kid that's like, so who knows? I have my own, opinions about men being, I'm trying to figure out how exactly men get sexually assaulted short of if they're drugged by a woman. But maybe that's just me, and again, that's my opinion. So if she was, say, extorted and just paid him off to just keep it quiet, that's one thing, but no one knows that, okay? But the Me Too movement, Alina, what do you think this does for it? Like, that she came out so strongly and led the charge against Harvey Weinstein, that to have this, if this is true, this skeleton in her closet.
I'm not making excuses for anyone, but all of us have things that we wish we hadn't done.
Yeah.
I don't think we can hold her up as the one person to bring down the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What she allegedly did is against the law in California, and it supposedly happened here at a hotel in this area.
Yeah.
So if it's true, she did break the law, and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is apparently investigating.
Yeah.
She allegedly paid off this young man $380,000. I've seen the pictures that were leaked.
We actually have the pictures if you guys want to put
Yeah.
them.
Okay. They both look like they had a good time. He was underage, so I'm just going to leave it at that. For me, the most shocking thing was that her former boyfriend, the late Anthony Bourdain, apparently paid off the young man. Yeah, that was really shocking for me. And I hate to see, Bourdain's name sullied, because he's not here to defend himself, but it's a really sad story all around.
Yeah.
And I don't think I actually had some journalists call me and ask me my opinions, and I said, we're talking about the New York Times, we're not talking about a little blog. Not knocking my blog, but it was the New York Times. It was deeply reported. They had copies of legal documents. They also had copies of pictures and selfies, which they did not release. These pictures were released to TMZ.
Right.
So this is my question, though. So it's just a matter of his age, though, because to me the pictures look like that was not like that was consensual on his part. So it doesn't matter, is what you're saying. It's just because of his age.
If this is true, she broke the law.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was underage. She was 37 at the time. He was 17.
Yeah.
They had worked together, and he did meet up with her, but as the adult in the room, you have to draw the line.
Exactly. She knows better as an adult. But
She does know better.
17 in California, against the law, definitely. I agree with you. I don't think that this one thing is going to bring down the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that, when that hashtag started, there were millions of women across the country and across the world that came out and said, hey, this has happened to me. It might not be in the entertainment field. It might be in some, other field. But it's that strength in numbers, that just because one person has something personal like this, a downfall, doesn't discredit every other woman's or a man's, voice.
It was interesting. There were such eloquent, statements that came out afterwards, like by Mira Sorvino and by Rose McGowan, all of them just weighing in, and just you could see just like the heartbreak that oh my God, she was like on the front lines of this, like, you know. But I do agree. I don't think that the movement's like, you know, a fraud because of like one woman's sort of error in judgment, and because we all have error in judgment. But I guess for me as a guy, it's just, I think back to when I'm 17 and I'm like, those pictures don't look to me like he was having a terrible time. So it's sort of like, and then he took $300,000 from, and I kind of feel bad that Anthony Bourdain, deceased, is like being dragged through this, like let people like sort of rest in peace. Anyway, she hasn't made a statement though since all of this broke.
Actually, she has, and we have it up. I think if we can pull it up, she says, I strongly deny and oppose the contents of the New York Times article dated August 20th, 2018, as circulated also in national media, national and international news. And she goes on to talk about what happened with Bourdain, how Bennett came to her and pretty much said, you know, I want this money. He knew that she was dating Anthony, and gave him the money.
And also, it feels like it's just everything that's lost in this is that Harvey Weinstein still did assault her, right? Like, that hasn't changed. I mean, allegedly. I mean, allegedly assaulted her.
Right.
All of a sudden, that's like completely erased from the conversation here. You know, now it's just like, oh, she paid off a 70. Anyway, I think that this isn't going to be the first, though, because now it feels like the direction of sort of Me Too now, like, after the Les Moonves article, I felt a turning point in that journalists want to be more cautious now, because it's, and now I feel like they're looking the other side of it to say, looking into more of the women who have come forward in these high-level cases to see what their backgrounds sort of tell them. Do you know, like, there seems to be a dynamic, like a shift in the dynamic of the reporting.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be interested to see how this all continues to play out.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, and so also, I want to revisit the VMAs really quickly
Ooh,
because I got a lot of feedback